Hi, welcome to day 8 of your 21-day challenge with Living Your Yoga. Let's begin. So come into a seated position. I've chosen to come onto my knees today, but it's totally up to you whether you want to sit on a chair or to come to sitting on your bottom. Again, you can choose to have the toes tucked under here for a little bit of a morning toe stretch if you're ready for that. Otherwise, you can point the toes away and come to sitting on the heels, or maybe put some padding underneath. Keeping the spine nice and long, shoulders soft, lengthen through the crown of the head. And just take a moment just to settle in, bringing yourself into the present by anchoring into your breath. And using those maybe few options that we started looking at last week, inhaling through the nostrils, feeling cool air enter, and exhaling, feeling slightly warmer air. Maybe you can start to feel the movement around the ribs, the chest, or the belly. Maybe that's your anchor. Or maybe you're simply noticing the sensation of the breath, the experience, and maybe its texture. And as you do this, maybe just check in on yourself at the start of your practice today. Notice how your body's feeling. And notice how your energy is. Are you tired? Are you awake and raring to go? Something else? And then maybe just check in on your thoughts and feelings. Notice if the mind is active and alert, thinking of the day ahead, or maybe it's quite quiet and quite sleepy. Maybe there's more emotion at the surface. And as you're just simply observing the breath, we can bring the palms together. We'll just do a little bit of joint release in the wrist. So you just open your hands like a book so the palms face you. Let the hands continue to roll around so the back of the hands touch, the fingertips point down, come all the way up, and then bring the palms back together. So you open the hands like a book, back of the hands touch, fingertips go down, move away, and come back together. I often find thinking about this makes it quite difficult to work with coordination. So once you get the direction of the hands, just letting them sort of feel like they're opening, backs together, and then bringing them back, it sort of starts to get easier not to think about it. And then we'll go in the opposite direction, so the palms face away, fingertips point down, come towards you, and then the palms come together, palms away, back of the hands touch, going down, and come together. And just notice how this feels in the wrists. So when we're doing work in our all fours or our downward dogs, often the wrists might feel a little bit stiff or a bit sticky to start with. So it's quite nice just to give them a little bit of nourishment before we get started, and then give them a little bit of a shake out. Okay, so let's come into an all fours position, slightly different today. Take the hands as wide as the mat and ahead of the shoulders. Bring the knees so that they're still around hip width apart. And we're just going to scoop our bottom towards the right heel, circle round the left heel, come over the right wrist, and then take it over the left wrist. So you're just gently moving into a sort of easy figure of eights. Breathing in, breathing out. Often when I teach this, I always find it quite nice to do some nice big yawns, especially if it's a morning practice. And that can feel quite nice in just stretching the face, releasing any tightness in the jaw. Just see if you can feel a little bit of ease as there's less of a directed structure, if you like, to this little movement. And if you're not yawning, maybe just inhale through the nose and exhale softly through the mouth. And then we'll figure of eight the opposite way. That's normally the most confusing part, trying to coordinate the reverse. So you'll circle first over to the left heel, round to the right heel, over to the left wrist, then the right wrist. And again, if you want to do a little bit of Release in the face and the jaw. We can do some horse lips. So you breathe in through the nose and you exhale through the mouth. And that can feel quite nice around the face. Again, releasing tension around the mouth, lengthening the exhalation at the same time. And then we're just going to come into a nice gentle rocking. So you bring the bottom back to the heels, easing into child pose, but really getting the length from the tail to the crown of the head and up to the fingertips. And then just coming slightly forward, taking the weight slightly over the wrists. And you can tone the abdominal area here slightly to support yourself. And then exhale, ease back. And inhale as you come forward. Exhale back. Now, if you're quite comfortable here, and you might have already done a little bit of movement before we've started the class, you might find that you like to let the pelvis drop only if it's comfortable in the lower back. You might come to lifting the chest, look ahead, maybe with a little bit of a hip rock here, shoulders and jaw remain soft, and then ease back softly into the child position, maybe a little bit of rocking here as well. So we're just trying to get a little bit more freedom of movement, working a little bit more intuitively in this part of the sequence this morning. So you can ease in, notice how you feel, a little bit of awareness of your breath in response to freedom of movement. Okay, and then when you come back into your child, we'll just take a little bit of a rocking here. And then ease up into an all fours position. So hands underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread, knees are hip width apart. And then we're coming into our classic cow pose. Inhale, lifting the tail, lengthen the front of the torso, look down the tip of the nose. And exhale, tuck the tail under, draw the navel to the spine, push into the hands and tuck the chin. Inhaling again into cow. And exhaling into your cat pose. And the same again. The more you get to know this sequence, you can start to play with it with a bit more freedom, just as we were in our figure of eights and our child pose before. A little bit of rocking. So the next time you come into your cat pose, ease back from your cat pose and come back into child. We're going to come straight into a scoop this morning, scooping up into cow. Exhale through cat and go back into child. And just find a little bit of fluidity here with the breath. So you inhale as you scoop up into your cow. And you exhale as you go back through cat and into child. We'll just do one more of these like that. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now this time, as you come up into your cow pose, let's just turn the toes under and ease back into a down dog. Maybe pedaling the heels if that's comfortable for you, or swaying the hips left to right, gazing between the knees. Again, finding a little bit of freedom, moving with a little bit more intuition, feeling into what your body needs today. And then maybe pressing the heels down to the ground, directing the tail down, gaze between the knees, and just feel that sense of space between the ears and the neck and the shoulders. And then when you're ready, let's bring the knees down again. And we're just going to come into an all fours position and bring your right fingertips to just rest on your right ear. And just inhale and lift that elbow up as high as is comfortable. And then exhale, come back to a flat back. We're going to do the same again. Inhale, lift that right elbow. So we're just simply working with the thoracic spine. And exhale, come down. Inhaling, lift. And exhale down. And we'll do two more here. Inhaling. Exhaling. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. And then let's bring that right hand down and swap over. Left fingertips, they just rest on the ear. They're not pulling, just gently touching. And we inhale, lift the left elbow. Feel a little bit of twist, rotation in the thoracic. And exhale, flatten the back. Inhale as you lift. And exhale as you lower. Inhale to lift. And exhale. And you just take this as far as it is comfortable for you. So you can just feel that little bit of movement where it can quite often feel quite stuck, especially the area at the center of the back. If you're female, it's normally where the bra strap is, can be quite uncomfortable for many of us. So this movement, I feel, is a really nice undoing of that tension. One more. And then we're going to bring the hand back onto the ground. So from here, keeping the hands underneath the shoulders or slightly ahead if there's discomfort in the wrists. We're going to lift that right foot up with the sole of the foot pointing the ceiling and bringing the curve into the spine, just like you do in your cow pose, inhaling. And as you exhale, bring the cat spine in, but bring the knee to the nose. So you inhale as you lift, cow pose with leg extended. Exhale, knee to nose in cat. Inhaling and exhaling here. Nice and controlled. Two more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last time. Inhaling. And exhaling. So we're really giving the spine a lot of attention this morning. Bring the right knee down. Left side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. And exhale, knee to nose. And I find that if I just work with feeling like I'm doing my cat-cow movement that I'm nice and familiar with, then simply lifting the leg back and forth like so doesn't make it seem like too much work. Last time. And then bring that left knee down. So let's work in a little bit of a balance using that sequence. Bring the right foot up, just as you did, and see if you can reach the left arm straight back. And if you can, you might hold on to the foot or the ankle. So you're coming into that cow shape of the spine, lengthening the front of the body, and try to keep the left shoulder neutral. So without it pulling right back, keep it neutral to the right shoulder, nice and level. If you've got hold of the foot, you might pull the foot away from you and draw it toward you. So you're giving yourself a little bit of tension here. Breathing in, breathing out nice and steady. And if the hand doesn't reach, it's okay. Just try and stay in the balance. Work where you are today. And we'll do one more breath. And then slowly let's lower the left hand and see if you prefer bringing the right hand round to hold onto the right foot. We all have a bit of a favorite in this posture, in my experience. Some people find it nicer to hold with one hand than the other. So just take your time, find out what works for you. Keep the breath nice and steady. And then on your next exhalation, let's slowly lower hand and knee down. And then let's see what it's like on the opposite side. So raise the left leg, foot to sky. And then we're going to reach the right hand first. Find that cow spine, lengthening, feel length through the neck, neutral shoulder, so it's not pulling right back. Try and keep it nice and steady. And then again, if you've got hold of your foot, imagine someone's pulling your toes away from you and you're drawing that foot back towards you. And you'll probably feel you get a really nice stretch on the quad as well here, lengthening the front of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice little balance for a Monday morning. And then let's gently release that right hand. See if you can keep the left foot up and then hold on with the left hand. And again, see which side works for you. One side is normally easier than the other. Try and keep the shoulders nice and neutral so we're not pulling on shoulders. But again, see if you can get that sense that someone's pulling your left foot away, you're drawing it towards you. So you're just inviting a little bit of tension there in your balance. Breathing in, breathing out. And then let's slowly bring the left hand and the left knee down to the ground. Inhale into your cow pose. And let's exhale, turn the toes under and ease back into a downward dog. Pedal the heels or press the heels down. Gaze between the knees and direct the tail down to the ground at the same time. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, if down dog's not for you right now and it's not comfortable, then I'd like you to, your returning point, to come into high knee, okay? For those that don't want to do down dog this morning. Otherwise, if you're in your downward facing dog, we're going to all step the right foot forward to the outside of the right hand. So if you're coming from high knee, step the right foot forward and bring the hands down to the inside of the right hand. And then let's just slowly circle into this knee. So hopefully you can feel a little bit of work in that hip, waking it up, breathing in, breathing out. And then circle the opposite way. I always find it makes the practice a lot more interesting when we can move through these kind of quite strong, structured movements and then invite a little bit of flowing, circling, more sensual movement into a practice. And then we're going to take that right foot back, either coming up into your high knee or coming up into your downward facing dog. We'll do the same on the other side. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand, right knee down, and circle into that left hip now. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing sensations in the left hip. One side is usually a little bit tighter than the other, and circle the other way. Find that freedom. And then we're going to step that left leg back again, either in your down dog or into your high knee. So let's step the right foot forward again. If you're in your down dog, bring it between the hands and then bring the left knee down and come into a little runner pose here. So you can let the pelvis drop. You'll feel a nice extension down the left side of the hip and you can lift the chest here. So for some of you, this is more than enough. You stay here. For some of you, let's breathe in and reach the arms up. And then exhale, take the arms wide like a cactus. Breathe in, reach up again. Exhale to cactus. One more time, breathe in, reach up. And exhale to cactus. Let's bring the hands down and send that right foot back. Same on the left side. Step the left foot forward, bring the right knee down. Runner pose, either stay here or inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Bring the hands down either side of the foot and ease back into your downward facing dog or your high knee. If you're on high knee, you might like to come onto low knee or come to sit on your bottom. The same from your down dog, come onto your knees and come to sit in a position that's comfortable for you. Let the shoulders soften. Maybe rest one palm in the other. Palms can face up. Let the gaze drop towards the ground. Breathe in and breathe out freely. And just notice how you feel. We've done a little bit more sort of a stimulating practice this morning. So you might feel a little bit more energized, hopefully. And just come back to your check-in in how you started the practice, noticing now how the physical body feels, noticing how your energy feels this morning after a little bit of movement, and then noticing thoughts and feelings. And then just take a moment just to notice how you want to move into your day today. If you have any intention. And as always, thank you for practicing with me today.